During the 17th century, the Navy of the Dutch Republic was one of the most powerful naval forces in the world and played an active role in the Anglo-Dutch Wars, the Franco-Dutch War, and wars against Spain and several other European powers. At the start of World War II, the Dutch had 5 cruisers, 8 destroyers, 24 submarines and smaller vessels, along with 50 aircraft. The Netherlands was conquered in 1940 by Nazi Germany in a matter of days, and 2 Dutch light cruisers and 1 destroyer leader and 3 destroyers that were under construction were captured in their shipyard. For the rest of the war, the Dutch Navy was based in Allied countries. The Dutch Navy had its headquarters in London and smaller units in Ceylon, or modern-day Sri Lanka and Western Australia. Around the world, Dutch naval units were responsible for transporting troops, for example during Operation Dynamo at Dunkirk, and on D-Day, they escorted convoys and attacked enemy targets. A small force of submarines based in Western Australia sank more Japanese ships in the first weeks after Japan joined the war than the entire British and American navies together during the same period. Since the beginning of the century, Holland can count on quality shipyard and highly skilled manpower and reputed design bureau. This autonomy was sufficient for most designs, but a few. For modern destroyers, Holland turned to British expertise, Van Ghent class, and same for battle cruisers, as they not possess the industrial design expertise for these particular classes of ships. De Ruyter was ordered in 1930 to replace the cancellation of the 3rd unit of the Java class in 1919. The Dutch Indies squadron had to have at least 2 cruisers in permanent operations. In appearance, she was very much inspired by the German pocket battleships of the Deutschland class. The 3 cruisers of the Java class were started in 1916-17 to replace older units in the Dutch Navy squadron. The class counted the Java, Sumatra and Celebes, but the construction was delayed, and finally HDLMS Celebes was abandoned in 1919. Construction focusing on the remaining 2, which were completed in 1923, entering into service in 1924. The Prinz van Oranje and the Gouden Leeuw, these 2 minesweepers were built for the service of the Eastern Indies. They were specifically designed as mine layers, with a very high load capacity. The first was sunk during an unequal battle against Japanese destroyers on January 12, 1942, and the second sank in the harbor of Surabaya on March 7, 1942. In the last days of the year, the Prinz van Oranje Tier 10 cruiser joined the game with the sonar sweep. This ship is historically a sister ship of the Gouden Leeuw. In Blitz, he has the same tier and stats as Gouden Leeuw. Let's take a look at the features of the Prince of Orange. First of all, this is such a different camouflage that even though I stay away from such interesting camouflages, I think it is great. It's like the deck of the ship is on fire. This ship comes with the legendary commander Michiel de Ruyter. This commander is the best of the Dutch commanders at the moment, although he is rather ineffective among the legendary commanders. Unfortunately, the 8% speed he adds to the airstrike is not worth it, but there is no other option. I'm against the commander changing precise aiming to spend gold, because I use this commander on other Dutch destroyers. You can use this commander with the Tier 8 cruiser DZP, Tier 10 destroyer Trump, and Tier 9 destroyer Groningen. These 3 warships have the airstrike ability. Dispersion may make sense as an equipment choice, but I used my right to increase the airstrike bomb duration. For the rest, it is worth choosing standard acceleration and concealment. As an elite bonus, speed and acceleration seem very good, but main gun range will always be a much more useful option. The more range, the better. I didn't find the quadruple guns bad when I was playing, but the airstrike feature is very good at setting fires, and using HE shells to set additional fires is an alternative. This ship seems to be quite good at set fire, so I tried it with the airstrike modification equipment. If there is an additional range for main guns on the elite bonus, it will always be useful to choose it, because we expect better dispersion with additional range. Also, I didn't see any problem with the ship's speed and acceleration. Of course, additional acceleration increases kiting capabilities. As much as I like camo that stands out, I think when you play with it, it makes you an interesting target to shoot at. Also, airstrike is applied to this camo with a different effect. Dutch warships come with the airstrike feature in Blitz, and in this video, I compared the airstrike bomb features of all premium Dutch ships. Prinz van Oranje's biggest advantage seems to be fire chance. He has a very good fire chance. This is a really good feature. One of the biggest differences compared to Gouden Leeuw is that the main gun is quadruple in Prinz van Oranje, and the reload time is significantly lower. However, the damage HP has been reduced a bit. Again, I liked the main guns. Prinz van Oranje has not legendary module, which I find useful on Gouden Leeuw. That's a missing part. Slightly lower caliber, but 1.5 seconds better main reload, and quadruple guns is an important difference. Fire probability is 1% lower, but there are more shells. I don't like high main guns reload time in cruisers and destroyers. 18% airstrike setting fire chance is the best in the game so far. There will be plenty of fire. Even though the AP damage and fire chance of main guns are a bit lower, we have to remember that they are 3 times 4 quadruple. Other known Dutch warships besides Techline are DZP, Groningen and Trump. Friesland is purely a gunboat, and HE Spammer. All of them are different ships with different playstyles. Although there are some people who do not like them and call them cheaters, because the airstrike feature spots the enemy team's locations, I think it is not a feature that disrupts the balance in random matches, but we will not discuss it. So what kind of ship is this ship? For one thing, it's not easy to play, and it's not an OP ship. It doesn't have game-changing features, but it's definitely not a bad ship. Especially on some maps, it has a very good damage potential. If you are familiar with this style of play from DZP, Groningen and Trump, you should be quite comfortable with this ship. However, it is a bit long and wide ship, and the it may give citadels. It's a style of play that requires careful positioning. Especially good deployment at battleship range will keep you alive. I kept my distance mostly. Tell me what you think of the ship in the comments. I'm LordJim. Don't forget to subscribe and like. See you until next time. I will show some footage about Prinz van Oranje and provide you a complete gameplay. It will be easy to find destroyers with the airstrike feature that you cannot detect. If you have not used the airstrike feature before, it will take a while for your hand to get used to it. You can increase your dexterity in this regard by observing the maneuvers and movements of the ship you will do an airstrike.
Penetration of the target's armor has been confirmed. Enemy force sighted on the horizon. We successfully inflicted damage on the target. managed to get a clear shot.
I want to show you airstrike spotting capabilities on that Shima.
Establish a defensive perimeter in this zone. The armor. Having is not so pleasing, after all, as wanting. Enemy force detected. We successfully inflicted damage on the armor. We need more assistance. Penetration of the target's armor has been confirmed. Alert! There is an indication of combustion. Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert. We managed to get a clear shot. Penetration of the target's armor has been confirmed. We managed to get a clear shot. We successfully inflicted damage on the target. Enemy force sighted on the horizon. The projectile has effectively breached the armor. Penetration of the target's armor has been confirmed. The projectile has effectively breached the armor. We successfully inflicted damage on the target. We managed to get a clear shot. Alert! There is an indication of combustion. The successful resolution of this confrontation appears imminent.